So far we've talked about building your business credit and the assets that it takes to go into financing. So now that you have these things in place, what about getting new customers or new clients or having them return and come back to you? You see, customers or clients buy when they trust you. And if everybody believed that your product or service would genuinely help them all the time, they would buy from you every single time. But they won't buy if they don't trust you. And nowadays, everyone is so skeptical. And if everyone looks the same with the same stock copy or images and the same short lines of text, then everyone loses. And that potential customer or client doesn't get the help or service that they needed, and the business loses revenue. But we help solve this by means of video. See, when people can see you and hear your story, that helps build rapport and trust right up front. That actually, you become the local trusted expert in your field. Give you a chance to tell you why did you get into business? Why is this your passion? And FAQs. You can even give me questions you want me to ask you that you get hammered with all the time. It's just a comfortable interview, but just a conversation putting you out there. You know, you might do something that the provider service or product that somebody else does, but there might be that one thing that's special that nobody else does, and you want to let people know about it. Now, a lot of times when people go to advertise, they'll use Groupon or they'll use coupons, and they're going to get those customers one time or clients because they're price shoppers. They're looking for the cheapest deal. But if they see the interview and they watch your interview, they get to know you, they're like, oh, I really like that person. At the end of the interview, you can put an irresistible offer in there for them. Not only are they going to come to see you based off your personality, but they're going to keep coming back. That is how we build the celebrity status for you. Not only that, it's if you're an entrepreneur or the one responsible for bringing in new business and customers, then video is not an option for you. It is a requirement. And in these interviews, what we do for you is brand it with your logo, your name, your contact information, and that again helps build that celebrity status credibility for you. So we put together some short clips of the most recent interviews I've done, and they've been with all doctors recently for some reason. Well, people are have a lot of questions when it comes to the medical field, so it makes sense. There's short clips of each one. Now, if you want to see any of the full interviews, just let me know. I'll get those sent to you. And the industry doesn't matter. You can be a doctor, a chiropractor, you can have a boutique, landscaper, pool service, doesn't matter. We will do an interview with you. So definitely enjoy these next clips, and I will see you soon.
Legacy Local Impact, empowering entrepreneurs.
Hello, and thank you for joining me on the webinar. As we continue our quest to bring awareness to local communities, I have a special guest, Mr. Clint Cornell, who has joined forces with a few other medical experts at Peak Performance Medical in Ohio, and together have a combined 60 years of functional and regenerative medicine experience. Although they are independently successful, by combining their specialties under one roof, they can now offer therapies that are more out of the box and uniquely effective than what you would receive elsewhere. As you get to know Clint and his two other physician partners, Dr. David Ellison and Dr. Hal Blattman, it becomes obvious why they work so well together. What I notice is that all three of them not only are some of the more dedicated medical practitioners that you will come across, but also patient, understanding, and transparent, which is very comforting. After seeing the many outstanding reviews online, you can tell patients truly feel at ease from their very first meeting, which unfortunately is not typical these days in the medical field. They not only excel at what they do, but are also passionate teachers of their craft, holding lectures for physicians outside of their practice as well. In this interview, you'll see a brief recorded segment with a special message from Dr. Ellison and Dr. Blattman, and the rest of the live recorded session with Mr. Clint Cornell. where he breaks down the benefits of stem cell therapy in a truly engaging and easy to understand way. If you or someone you know is suffering with pain or on prescriptions to relieve their pain, this educational interview is for you and your loved ones to give you the hope that you don't have to suffer any longer. So please, feel free to share this interview with anyone you know who wants to enjoy life pain-free. All right, enough of me talking. Let's hear what these very caring experts have to say.
We're knocking down the doors as we can, but you can't just barge in and push doors over. Change takes a while, and change through history has taken a while. I got hold of a medical book from the 1930s. It was talking about the same problem in the 1930s of how new ideas are hard to adapt and the old medical establishment still wants to do the old stuff. None of that changes. So to help somebody understand that there's another way to think and another way to look at it, change takes distribution of knowledge to people that can help make it bigger. And that integration is what makes this all work so well. Because I have so much to learn from my colleagues and peers that is outside my direct purview, that I don't really focus on, that I need to learn more about. So I'm always thrilled to learn more. I'm always thrilled to connect with another person that can show me a different way to think.
Hello, Clint. Thank you so much for joining us here on Legacy Local, connecting community through education and relationships. Thanks for being here with us. So one of the reasons why we do these interviews is because our family has seen such a dramatic improvement. Now that we're focused on a more natural, healthy lifestyle, we've seen it firsthand. And we know that in our experience, a lot of our friends and family, they're so unaware of what alternatives are, like, regenerative medicine, any functional treatments, and they think that prescription medication or surgery is their only choice that they have. So it's really important for us to get the word out for people out there and let them know there's actually options. And it's our goal to help practices like yours just get the word out and let people become just more aware, like I said, the alternative. So thank you again for being here with us.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, and it's a wonderful opportunity to get to not only talk about our practice a little bit, but some of these regenerative therapies that we offer. They're really an exciting time to practice functional and regenerative medicine, so I'm happy to be here.
Yes. Now, from your experience, has the vast majority of people, do you notice the vast majority of people out there are still unaware of what their options are?
Yeah, this is one of the sad stories in modern medicine, is that so many people that we meet are, for the most part, unaware of the wide variety of options that they have, not only in treating conditions like pain, but also just relative to their overall health. We've been programmed in this country, I think, to think of medicine as a one-size-fits-all and kind of this single paradigm approach. I wait until I'm sick or hurt, then I see my doctor, he prescribes a medication. If that doesn't work, I may see a surgeon, and the surgeon tries to repair or remove or alter the body's structure. And unfortunately, people miss out on a wide variety of therapies that can sometimes replace those traditional therapies, or in a lot of cases, augment them or make them more effective.
Yes, absolutely. And do you think that it seems like opioids have become standard in conventional medicine? Do you notice that?
Yeah, opioids have an interesting story. If you go back, several decades, and even up until, several years ago, the push in medicine was to treat pain aggressively and treat patients to the point of where they reported alleviation in pain. And the problem with that approach is that pain is just a symptom. It's telling you that there's something broken. There's an underlying cause. And the therapy directed at just simply alleviating pain really didn't do much to solve the problem, to correct the cause, but it did lead to a lot of folks suffering with addictions and side effects, And then, certainly the consequence of the underlying condition just progressed and worsened, and then they're left dealing with that issue as well. So
Forward to today, if they're not furthering their education, they're going to look at everybody as a surgery case or everybody that needs a pill for something. So that's something that we want to educate people and kind of get them away from that.
Exactly. Here's the thing about that. If you only have a hammer in your toolkit, everybody's a nail. I started in medicine in 1968. I was a medic in the Vietnam conflict, and after I got out of my commitment to my country at that time, I became a surgical assistant in a allopathic hospital in DC. And then later on, I became a respiratory therapist in an osteopathic hospital in Dayton, Ohio, where I ended up finishing my undergraduate degree. And it's crazy because I thought about becoming a medical doctor or an osteopath, but when I went to Des Moines for my interview with the osteopathic college out there, I got depressed because in high school I was in sports, in college I was in sports, in the military, camaraderie, brotherhood, sports. And then I went out to Des Moines, and it was just a building, just a college. No, I didn't really see any camaraderie. When I got back to Ohio after the interview, there was a Navy recruiter on campus. He said, "How would you like to learn how to fly?" And I said, "That could be really good." And so I passed by the appointment to the osteopathic college and went into the Navy Flight School. And then time went on, and I ended up getting injured, surgery, and medically discharged from the military. So crazy as it sounds, that's when I began to look back at my pre-med studies. And by the time here's the thing. The doctor of old, the Dr. Kildare's, the Marcus Welby's, and those guys on TV that had time to spend with their patients and really get into the cause of the problem.
Designed by.
So originally, the wavelength itself was done through experimental things with NASA, and this has actually been used in the Navy SEALs have used this technology. And actually a lot of nursing homes and whatnot. So anodyne therapy, the machine itself was developed in Florida, and it's been around for, since I've started, and it's just slowly growing and growing and growing. So hopefully you get the word out, and we can help really change people's lives.
Absolutely. Now, is this anything that is when they have this machine on them, is there any sedation involved? Is it something they can drive themselves there and home? How is it performed?
So it's done in office, and the only thing that they might feel is that you might get a little bit of heat from it because the diodes are so close together.
Okay.
And that's a good thing, but the bad thing is a lot of these people that have this neuropathy that's going so far, they actually lose sensation in their feet, so they can't tell if it's something hot or cold. Mm-hmm. So we just kind of check the pads and make sure it's not too hot, make sure there's not a lot of redness, but we can also take the machine here and kind of show it to you, and you can turn the dial up or down if needed. So, but a patient would come into my office. Usually it's 3 times a week for a month to get the best results. And they usually sit with the pads on their feet or even their hands for 45 minutes. And then I do balancing exercises with them, because a lot of times they lose that balance in their feet because they can't feel their feet. Mm-hmm. So we try to generate the nerves and get everything back to where it was. So that's for 12 visits. And then after that, we find out if they want to, how often they need the machine. Do they come in for more treatments, or do we just send them home with the home unit?
Really just a personal story about me, about what got me into the stem cell therapy. If you asked me 3 years ago what stem cell therapy was, I would just look at it and keep on walking because I didn't know. I was not very knowledgeable in it. And then a friend of mine introduced me to it, explaining what it is in more detail, and I started doing research, and I have it I had a tear in my rotator cuff, my right rotator cuff, and I have a chondromalacia patella right knee. It's a condition that affects the knees. And I did stem cells myself, and I saw great results, especially with the shoulder. And if I could get results with the conditions that I have, I know that other people could. So it's very exciting for me to give it to be with on this interview with you. And I hope I can help as many people as possible.
Yeah. So for someone who wants to get the process started and they schedule a consultation, they come in, can you just walk me through the process of what they're going to go through when they come into the practice?
Absolutely. They walk into our office, and our receptionist and some paperwork to fill out. It's a history intake form, some other paperwork, so they understand exactly what we're doing and that they're totally comfortable and understanding of everything from A to Z that we do. Then they come into our office and we do a comprehensive consultation on them. From the consultation, we're really able to get a good idea if they're a candidate for the stem cell procedure.
$35, we have people come in, we do a consult, we do an exam, and then we have them come back. I explain what's going on with them. And on top of that, we actually do a trial session. So this way they get to come in, see the office, meet me, go through the process, make sure they know that I know what's going on with them, and to actually do a session. We actually do up to 2 trial sessions. And if I can't help them and they don't feel any better in 2 trial sessions, I can't take them as a client. So that way we kind of try and get around that I don't know what's going on, I don't understand misconceptions. This is how it is. And that seems to work pretty well.
Like you customize it to each individual. It's, person that it's done in a natural healing way, and it's so cutting edge. It's not this some cookie cutter treatment that people have to fit in this box and this is for everybody.
Right. And a lot of times, when I talk to other practitioners, I know a lot of practitioners, there's one consult, one exam, and, pretty much one treatment program. That's definitely not. I didn't go through all this and learn all this stuff just to do the same thing with every person. And that's what makes it fun and exciting for me too, because I get to put things together and, okay, this could be working a little better if we do this or add that or change this. No person is the same. I don't care if they come out with the same symptoms, same duration, same cause. It's going to be different in the long run.
My name's Art Evans, and I came to Dr. Allert through an advertisement I saw in the paper. I was experiencing some of the things that he was saying that he had a remedy for, and pins and needles in the legs, just hardening, muscles tightening, a whole series of leg and foot discomfort. And I came to Dr. Allert, and he did the initial consultation, did a diagnosis of my problems, and suggested that he thought he could help me. And since that time, I've taken several treatments, and some of the problems that I've experienced, or most of the problems that I've experienced, have left me. I'm walking better. My legs are stronger. I feel that the process that he uses in remedying this condition is a very workable process. It has helped me tremendously. And I certainly would recommend for those who are suffering from leg and foot discomfort to visit Dr. Allert's office.
And you have more sensation in your leg now than you used to?
Yes, I have more sensation. My legs, they feel more normal now. I don't have the pins and needles and just the soreness. They're almost getting back to where they should be normally.
And as a side note, we just did an exam on you, and you could barely feel the vibration on the tuning fork when you first came in. Now it's as strong as it should be.
Yes,
right?
The feeling in my feet is returning. The test that was done just leaving, or the exit test here, I had more feeling and more of a feeling in my leg, my foot, than I had when I came here.
And your temperature increased by about 10 degrees.
Yes, the temperature had increased to almost a normal level.
Awesome.
So For those of you joining us on the webinar, thank you so much for being here. And if you want to schedule an appointment with Dr. Allard, go ahead and click on the link, or there should be a phone number you can call, and that is Columbus Chiropractic Center, Dublin. Thank you everyone for joining us and tuning in, and we'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed those clips of the interviews I did with doctors recently. Now, as you can see, being able to build rapport and connect with your prospective clients or customers can make a world of difference. They feel like they know you before they even meet you. And when you throw out an irresistible offer, they're even more anxious to come in, and they haven't even met you yet, but they feel like they do. So if you would like to see what this could potentially look like for you as far as connecting with your customers or clients before they even meet you, give me a call or email me, and I will give you all the details. Have a great day.